Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna look at what people aren't saying to your face. Now this could go both ways. It could be either bad or good, but I'm gonna find out today. So we've got 4 beautiful images in front of you. You're gonna go with the one that you feel the most gravitated towards. And yes, if you are gravitated to more than one image, you can watch more than one pile. I will give you 10 seconds to choose, but please also feel free to pause the video. Okay, so if you're gravitated towards image 1, before we read, a couple things to note. I have done an extended reading. It's in regards to your person. Doesn't matter if it's from 10 years ago, doesn't matter if it's from 2 weeks ago, or that you're still talking to your person. I have done a reading on what they are saying about you to others, and you can find that within the comment section, as well as if you'd like to book a personal, the link will also be within the pinned comment. Please ensure that if you are liking my style of reading and the way that I read my content, you are subscribing and hitting all notifications. I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live. And I do go live often for readings, so make sure that that is, tapped off on all notifications, and that goes for pre-existing subscribers. So let's get into your reading. We're going to go with a general idea of what I can pick up with these cards, and then we're going to go into the oracle cards. So this could be a long reading. Just bear with me. Don't click off if the first few things don't resonate. You need to listen to your message in its entirety, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and channel everybody who is watching's energy into my cards. So we are pulling messages for every single person. Let's try to reach every single person in group 1 who's watching. Let's bring forth the messages they need to hear today, not the messages they want to hear. And let's bring it forth in a very clear and direct way so that I, as the interpreter, can interpret it to them. What are people not saying to group 1's face? Okay, this is pretty sad. First thing I want to say is that for some of you, you could have overcome something really huge. It's interesting with this group because I just feel like with the image, I feel like you're heavily watched, but it's one of those things where people watch and they're not saying nothing. So in regards to this, a lot of you could have overcome something huge. People are aware of that, but they're not saying anything, okay? They're not talking about, the courage that you've had. This is not like, where credit is due. I feel like I'm not giving credit where credit's due. A lot of you, they could have been watching the struggle that you've went through or something that you just went through that is devastating, but they're not saying actually what they should be saying. Either some of these people are not saying nothing. It's like no offers of condolences or, just some kind words. Just like, I feel like this is quiet. But for some of you, these people are watching your progress and also not saying anything. Yeah, with the 9 of Pentacles, like I just, wow, that's always sad. Always sad. Let's just keep going because I tend to that I wanted to get out before I got all of the cards out. So many tens, so many tens. For some of you, you could have also done something amazing, come full circle on something. With the World card, it's that, success from, finishing something, completing something. Maybe it's just your growth as well too. And I just feel like here I hear crickets. So what people aren't saying to your face is just like, hey, great job. Like, amazing, I wouldn't be surprised if people here are not surprised by this. I do feel like there are probably people watching who, realize that the group that they have around them, is not really speaking up about stuff where it should be, because it's like, if you're there for me or you're for me, like you're kind of acting like you are, or you're, I'm assuming you are. Where's all the props? Like, where's all the congratulations? A lot of you could have done something really huge, maybe even, built yourself up online, maybe graduated something, maybe you're just, in your career. But a lot of you could have taken steps to, I feel like, really rise from the ashes and do something big. And I am getting, for a lot of you as well, too, there could have been a huge transformation that has even taken place over the last couple of years. And I think with the World card as well, too, this could be coming from online. Like, you can show yourself evolving without putting it in people's face. It's like maybe even like the pictures that you take are different now, but it's like, it's crickets. And again, I'm going to revert back to the thumbnail, like the image for this pile. I feel like a lot of people like to watch you, but it's like they don't back it up with like the words or even the likes or the comments, So even if this is online, people like to watch, but it's like they're not saying nothing. The other thing I'd like you to be aware of as well too is that there could be something in regards to like health, okay? Health. People want to say something. This is probably for another set of people. There could be some people who aren't saying something in regards to the way that you live that is unhealthy to them. I want one more card on that Chariot. Maybe for some of you, you've gotten yourself out of like... With the Five of Pentacles, it's so interesting because it's like a place of lack, and now you've moved forward. A lot of you have really risen out of the ashes, and it's like all thanks to you. I don't even think anybody helped you. I think you helped yourself. But it's like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Like, and I know we shouldn't rely on that, and I know everybody goes through that. They really do. So don't think you're alone. But I feel like here, the people that are around you, like, why are you there if you're not for me, kind of thing. That's kind of the same thing I'm feeling here, because you could have went through something, maybe even some ill health, or maybe some mental health issues. I just don't know. Or even like maybe you weren't doing good in life and now you've kind of made progress. And it's kind of astounding with the Chariot, because maybe you really made a bold move, or this didn't take that long to do. But I feel like it's crickets again with this Three of Wands. Like, even though he's there, it's like it even gives the image of like silence. So what people aren't saying to your face is, congratulations, great job, oh my God, this is amazing, you're doing great. A lot of you could have also nailed a really big position, or maybe come up in a company, or now you're like a boss lady or a boss man. And it's like, it's crickets. And I think this is some sort of twisted jealousy. It's twisted jealousy. And it could be just, I didn't want to kind of put this in the video where I was going to start to find out who was doing this. It could be people who are in the family, okay? People who are around you. But I do feel like it could be the friend group, or just people around you, period. And there's actually a guy popping up here in the spread. There's a King of Cups here. This is going to talk to those who have had maybe a very interesting connection with somebody. Someone's repressing something. They're not saying something to your face with the Star. They could be in a position of vulnerability where it's too much. I think somebody here is holding back. You in pile one, if you've got somebody, like, think of the first person that came to your head when I was talking about this man. I don't care if it's a crush. I don't care if it's a twin flame. I don't care if it's an ex. Someone is not speaking their truth about you, and it feels to me like hidden feelings. They're not speaking it. And with the star, though, it's interesting because I feel like there's some sort of like magical energy around this card. So it's like you may get that every other way except for from the person. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get it in dream states, or it's like, you feel it, you know it. And this would just be validation that, hey, like, you're not nuts. Like, if that is coming through in those in those other ways, through those other channels, but it's not coming from the person, like, you're not nuts. They are repressing something. I feel like it's feelings for you. Feelings, repressing. Because even with the Ace of Swords, it's like they should be more direct about, their feelings for you, which is the Sun. Feeling like just, I don't know. You just make me, if I'm them, I feel like I feel everything, like I want to just move forward. I want to do something. I want to move in a particular direction. But that person's not doing that. They're holding back on an action. Not just words, but actions. I don't know. With this, it's pretty interesting with this pile and the deck. But I wouldn't be surprised if you were surprised. I think you're aware. I really do. So let's move to other oracle cards, and let's now see what else we can pick up on. So we're going to pull 5 from here on what people are not saying to your face. I do want to say for one person, there could be a father figure that's also not saying something. It should be, I'm proud of you. It should be in with respect to being proud. They're not speaking that. Okay? This person's also holding back. So we actually are getting some people that are showing up here, and I didn't have any intention of doing that with this, reading. I just wanted to grab, what people are saying about you. Okay. What are people saying about group 1 that they are not saying to group 1's face? Crash and burn. So I feel like there are some of you, again, who have went through something. They may talk a lot about what you've went through, but now that maybe you've come out of it or you're doing better, it's like, I don't know, they're still holding on to like when you crashed and burned. There is a set of people who talk a lot about your downfall when it occurred, whenever it occurred. It's like they hold on for it for dear life, okay? But for others of you, some people could be talking about your downfall, like maybe where you're headed. Yikes, that's really hard to take in, but I know it exists. It actually happened to me. There was a lot of people around me back, before I cut them off, who used to, prey on my downfall. A lot of people like to talk about your negative qualities as opposed to like your positive qualities, but I feel like you're threatening to others, because I think they can deep down sense that phoenix rising, that spirit in you. And it's crazy too, because even though they're not really fully aware of it, I feel like they feel like if they talk about it, they give more life to that side of you. And it's almost like energetically, if they speak about the downfall or if they speak about your negative traits, that may actually trap you somehow, but they cannot trap you. So a lot of people talk about the past with respect to you, when you experience, we've all experienced downfalls, but they hold on to that for dear life with that card, really. And listen, the wall here is very symbolic to me in the background. This may be maybe people that you've actually shut out, who you've blocked, who you no longer speak to, but they're keeping that fire burning more. Starving for attention. Some people, what they aren't saying to your face is that they feel like you, and listen, just remember, this doesn't have to be true. Don't get triggered. People's perspective of us are not always reality. I do feel like there's some sort of chatter about your neediness for attention. um, and that could look like you just doing well, you know, even if you were posting your successes online, or you're just, I don't know, celebrating yourself. It's funny that's coming through. I don't want to overly interpret these cards, but it's funny because they're showing me somebody who's actually just trying to celebrate themselves. And these people are taking it as you're an attention, WHORE. Oh my God. Okay, more. I knew this could get dark, but doormat energy. Okay, so some people talk about you in the sense that you are energetically a doormat, or maybe you just don't know how to live your life properly. I am getting this sense of a bunch of people, and it's funny, they're showing me with like using their hands and stuff, like this person just does not know how to, you know, conduct their life. This actually may be getting actually misconstrued for some of you, which is kind of sick. You may actually be a mother, some of you I'm seeing, or you may have like a husband or whatever, a wife, but because you love this other person and you don't mind, you know, doing things for them or being submissive at times for these, you know, other people that you love, they're misconstruing it and saying that you are a doormat. Some of you that may very much resonate. I would not be surprised if we have some mothers here and people like to give you unsolicited advice about how you're raising your kids. I really wouldn't be surprised with this group. Some people could also be saying that you treat people like doormats, okay? Maybe those boots are yours. But again, I think these people who are saying that could just be very angry because they're not a part of your future. We've got so many 10s here. I wouldn't be surprised if these are people that you've cut out because, you know, it's always like that, you know, when you feel like you just can't be around, or maybe the soul contract has ended with this group or whoever they are. Those people always get real, you know, they have, you know, instead to honor that person can't be around you anymore and that's just what it is, they tend to kind of say, oh, well, you know, she just eats people and spits them out, you know, stuff like that. But for others of you, there could be some talks of this, and it could be in regards to who you have in your life, and they've got some sort of unsolicited opinions about how you let people treat you. So it's going to be like two groups for this this card. Go with whatever resonates. Give me more. Parental alienation. Okay, for some of you, this could be coming from a parent. Okay, could be coming from a parent. But for some of you, like, listen, I gotta go with what I'm seeing here. Some of people could be talking about, if you are a parent, that you are not a proper parent. This is not that weird. This is not that weird. I think a lot of people, everybody I think who is a parent deals with this at some point. Some person who comes along and tells them what they should be doing, or what they think, you know, that person is doing is not right. But I feel like, again, two categories for this, for these people who are watching right now. It's either we have a parent who's the one who's talking smack, or it could be how you are as a parent, which is, I know, hard to hear, but it is what it is. Let me just see if I can grab anything else from there. There could be talks about you that you've alienated your parent, okay? Some people who have, you know, those opinions as well too, like, oh my God, I can't believe she doesn't talk to her mother anymore, or she doesn't want anything to do with her parents, or what kind of a person is that? Just, this is what you say, okay? You just do this, all right? You do whatever you feel you need to do. That's just me giving my opinion right now. Don't worry about, you know, this is supposed to be a fun reading. I know it's a little bit dark, but it is what it is, okay? Let's get more. Rolling in their grave. A lot of people could be talking, or not, what they're not saying to your face is maybe there's, okay, this is going to get real specific for this one. So just hang on, hold on. Because I want to get specific. I like to do that in my readings. I don't like to bust out general stuff, okay? Some of you, there could be talks about how you didn't attend somebody's funeral, okay? Some of you, it's like, how dare you? You didn't go to the funeral? Oh my God. What kind of a person are you? Funerals are, oh my God. I don't even want to get into my own opinions about that, but it's not that serious, guys. But for others of you, there could be talks about, when they talk about you, whoever these people are, they could actually use this phrase: my mother must be rolling in her grave seeing what that person is doing or how this person's behaving, or my dad would be rolling in their grave. They could be actually using this phrase. For others of you, there could be some sort of talks, and I can't get too specific because I don't know what it would be, about how you engaged with someone who's just maybe passed, or who, when they passed, like, could even be the past, actually. So at a time, so the actual chatter could be about something to do with how you interacted with somebody who's now passed. And it doesn't matter if they passed 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 2 weeks ago, okay? But it could be in regards to someone who is deceased now. Okay. Okay, let's move. I knew this pile would be a bit extreme because I'm telling you, I felt the thumbnail extremely deeply. I just felt like it actually freaked me out a bit, like the image, because I just got this watcher vibes. And I feel like for me, just giving my opinion, when people are watching like that, it's like those type of people scare me. Because I just feel like that kind of denotes that, like, you're not doing anything in life. You have nothing going on. You know, those people who are also watching, they need to move on. I feel like as well, too. You shouldn't be heavily watching somebody this hard. But I just felt like I knew this pile, it could probably go real deep, okay? And it could be even painful for some of you to watch. But I just got to go with what I see. So let's get something now from these decks. We're going to pull 3 now. What are people not saying to group 1's face? Let go. Make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. I think, again, this is just correlating with the main reading. I think you've let go of a lot of people. These are probably even the people that are coming through in this reading. There's a lot of people that you've let go of. You would be shocked. Some of you may not. Maybe you're like hearing it through the grapevine. But for some of you, if you think those people have moved on, they have not. You are still a hot topic. You are still a hot topic. And there could be a lot of talk about how you just ditched them. You've released them. You just, you know, made room for the new by getting rid of them. And listen, with the butterfly on the card as well too, like, again, I'm going to reiterate the main point. There could be a lot about, you know, this blooming. People are talking about, like, look at you now, but they're not saying it to your face, which is what they should be doing. You know, why are people so afraid to say, hey, I'm proud of you? You know, that's not just, you know, for your kids, you know, you can say that to like another woman, you know, your neighbor, whatever, you know, when you hear something that they're doing or whatever, you see something there that they're doing, why not give credit? Why are people so scared of that? And I know it's a real thing. So I really wouldn't be surprised here if we even have people who have like a social media and see that as well too. Like, all these people are watching. I can tell they're watching every story, but they don't like any of my stuff. I really wouldn't be surprised. So with this card, it's a bit of both for me. It's how you've let go, you've released these people who are speaking of you, but it's also very much the blooming. You know, wow, you're doing well. You look like, you know, totally transformed. And I had nothing to do with it, you know? I think that's what bothers them as well too, is that they had nothing to do with it. Give me more. Distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. So listen, I think these people are at a distance. This is correlating with the reading. This is why I draw from so many decks, so that, you know, it can back up my main point, just to even validate me as a reader. But I just also feel like these people, that man that I picked up on, this could be somebody you're also in distance with, who also is holding back and should be, you know, coming clean about certain things to your face. So the topic is, you know, what people are not saying to your face. Okay, I've already talked about that. Let's get another card. Fire sign. So we've got an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That can just be validation that this is your pile, or it could be in regards to the people, you know, like at this point, you should know who I'm speaking of. Now, who are those people in your head? Do you know their sun sign? Do you know their rising sign? Whatever. That can be validation. Now, when I grab one of these, I always pull another because I want more. Open up your heart. It will help you attract more love. Yeah, there's a blooming that has taken place. There's a blooming. You're different. There's a lot of talk about, you know, just how far you've come. And it's kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking, I feel like, you know, when these people talk about, but they don't talk about it. They misconstrue it, you know. They misconstrue this blooming. They don't talk about it in like a, you know, a way that, you know, we should be proud. It's more like you've done it without them, you know, and it's kind of embarrassing, I feel like, as well. I'm just picking up extra things for these people. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they weren't a part of it, you know. It's like, look, people had to get away from you guys to bloom. But I think this also has a lot to do with that guy, okay? I think somebody's heart still burns. There's still like a burning heart somewhere. It's like, actually, they're showing it to me on flames. So if you think this thing is out or the fire was put out, it's not. It's still existing somewhere else in the world. And I'm telling you, somebody out there who still has feelings for you, or a crush, okay? Someone's not saying something, but I'm not, I think you know, because I think you are very psychic. I think you're picking up on it, and you probably sense it in other ways that you don't even need it actually from that person's mouth, okay? Let's get more. Let's get 2 cards from here. Let's see what else people are saying. Freedom, casual, being single, lightness. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this transformation, this change in you, how well you're doing. There's a lot of emphasis on how well you're doing. And, you know, I don't know if they're hearing it from others. I don't know if they're seeing it online, but I just feel like you're different. You're different. And listen, I just want to say to pile 1, you know, you may have had the odds stacked against you, and you could have come in here with a lot of past life enemies who really were out to get you. But you rise like the phoenix, honey. You rise like the phoenix. Look at you, just floating on air. Listen, I do have to say everything about the card. There could be some people who are talking about you being single. I don't know what that's maybe about. You know, it could just be a nagging mother or trying to get you to be hooked up with somebody else. Some of you could be dealing with that. Like, why haven't you found somebody? Why don't you find somebody? You're like, I'm good. I'm feeling good over here. I'm good. I'm good with it, you know? Because, you know, when you look at this girl on the card, she's cool. She has, you know, she gives the impression she has total faith in God and the universe that, you know, it will all come together in divine timing. But I do have to, just because it's a general reading, I need to kind of make sure that I'm saying everything on this card. And for some of you, there could be talks about that you just are not synced up with somebody yet. Give me more. What are people saying about group one that they're not saying to their face? Ice Queen, divorcee, mother, discernment. So for this one, there's a lot. Some people could say that, you know, you've just iced them out. You've iced them out. You're icy. You're not the person I remember. You're different. There could be a lot of talks about your behavior. And that could be coming from anybody. I don't care if it's in the office space, okay? Somebody is very concerned about this change. You know, maybe you used to be hot, now you're cold. Some of you could be getting talked about this divorcee energy. So I don't know if you've just recently divorced or if you are a divorcee, but people like to talk about that. You know, people like to talk about that, you know, that you are a divorcee, which is such low vibration. I don't even want to give that life to talk about that. Then we've got the mother. So what did I say in the beginning? There could be a lot of talks about your mother, what you've done with her, you've iced her out, or the way you are as a mother, okay? Then we've got discernment. People don't like the fact that you've learned discernment. I think here, some people may have always been like this, but some people may have just learned it, and there could have been a shift in your change. Sorry, a change, like a shift changed, a change shift, sorry, in you. Now you're using it. You're not letting as much people access you. There's a lot of 10s again, I want to reiterate in this spread. You're not afraid to let go. You're not afraid to cut off. People don't like this. They like the old you, the one that, you know, they used to be able to just manipulate and control. So there's that. Let's now get 2 cards from this deck. What do people say about group one that they aren't saying to their face? And it's funny with this, you know, now that I'm kind of at the end of this reading, I do feel like for a lot of you, you are very psychic. I want to repeat that. So I don't think this is going to come to you as a shock, because you may be picking up on this, you know, that people are agitated. It might be actually funny to you, you know, and that's good. Laugh it off. Laugh it off. This is none of your business. This is none of your concern. This is just a fun reading, and that's all it's meant to be. What are people saying about group one that they're not saying to their face? Release self-doubt, let go of fear. So we have another card indicating let go energy, right? So that's just giving a nod in the reading again to, you know, the transformation in you. You're no longer operating on fear. And fear can come in all different ways. It can come in all different ways. It can be the reason why we don't change. It could be the reason why we don't cut off certain relationships. It has a lot to do with your belief system. I just think that's another nod to the reading, okay? That you've released something. You've changed. There's a shift in you. You're just no longer the same person. And, oh well, give me more. Keep your thoughts positive. Kind of funny here with this one. There could be people, what they're not saying to your face is that they don't really like the way you operate. And I know this to be true. I've dealt with this before. This is when we have people who want you to engage in gossip. They want you to engage in, just always looking at, the negative side of things. And you're not doing that. People actually do not like your positivity. That's for group one. There's going to be another group here. People don't like that. They want you to, like I said, just engage in lower, you're not really trying to be a part of that. And it's annoying. It's annoying, but they don't say it to your face. And for some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you're getting shut out from certain groups because of that. But then there's others of you, what people aren't saying to your face, which I kind of, it may be a rare, this could be a few people this may resonate with, but a lot of people could be talking about the fact that they love how positive you are, but they're just not saying it to your face. But I do feel like if people love that, they will say it to your face. But it could be just for a few of you that they're just not really familiar with you yet enough to say that. But when they talk about you to others, they're like, I like that girl. Natasha, She's such good vibes. She's just always positive. She's always saying something, great. She's never talking about anything dumb or low vibrational. She's always keeping everything really light, positive, and, fluffy, which is beautiful. But I think this is more in regards to the annoyance about your positivity. And that could be even trickling into your life. Them realizing that like you being like that, it's not just the positive. You're keeping your thoughts positive. It's like you're attracting everything that way too. So this could be coming from some very low dimensional beings, which is normal. But yeah, this is what I got for you. Ooh, I just realized I should probably add the Rebel deck. Okay, guys. I'm glad I remembered that during your reading, number 1, because that's going to be the perfect deck, actually, to use, If you guys know the Rebel deck says it as it is. And we need some of that in this reading. So let's grab 2. Let's start with 2. I think 2 is good. We've drawn so many cards already. Let's find out what people are saying about you to others, but not to your face. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some effing time alone, and you know why. Some of you are keeping a distance, okay? Some of you maybe even are in isolation right now, or you like to be that way. I can't tell with, a general reading who I'm talking to. Some of you could have always been an introvert, okay? And sometimes you just need to be alone. People talk about that. They don't like it. They don't like how you shut them out. They don't really like, when you go MIA. They don't respect your time alone. But then there's others of you who may have just approached this, like me. I've been in isolation now for 4 years. It's just what's happening right now, and I get it. I don't want to talk too much about my life, but a lot of people don't understand that. And when I do show up places, I'm always getting those questions like, where have you been? So I know they're talking about it behind my back. Like, oh, where is that person? They're never around. Why aren't they showing up? It's weird. People always talk about what they can't understand, but they never open their mind and say, well, maybe something's going on in that person's life. We just don't know. So let's just shut up about it. But people talk about that, your time alone. It's weird. It's not understandable. Maybe you're not even making them understand it, or maybe you tried to, but they just don't get it. But there's an annoyance with that more. That project, that person, that idea is waiting. Get after that SHIT. The world has your back. That project, that person, that idea is waiting. I think here a lot of you are probably doing big things. And, when we start something, it doesn't mean that we finish it within a day, but it could look, people could tell when you've got something in the works. I think here people are talking a lot about this progress, okay? What you're doing. A lot of you are doing big things, and don't underestimate the smallest thing. Even if it's decorating your apartment, creating a tarot deck. I don't care if it's that you are starting a business. Maybe you haven't fully started it, but you're working at it, or you're doing something that doesn't involve these people. They're talking about this. And it could also be that they're a little bit annoyed, because isn't that funny that we got the world has your back and we got the world card here? There could be a lot of people seeing the progress worldwide, how do I say this? They could be seeing it publicly and how people respond to you. Oh my God, that person has a YouTube channel and everybody loves them, but they're not saying it like that, They're not saying it like that. They may just question. I've had people like that in my own life do that. I'm very skeptical of what you're doing, they say. Very skeptical. Yeah, it's a bit skeptical, Chitra. Okay, well, no one asked you. Just stuff like that. I'm giving you an example, but they could be talking about what you're doing. And again, if it's those people who are not saying it to your face, it's kind of sad, because I feel like this type of energy, if you are doing something that resonates with you, should be celebrated. because people don't do it. It's very rare. And when people can, get into Nine of Pentacles energy and, work on themselves, maybe even talk about it publicly, or like just put something together on their own without somebody telling them what to do, like that should be celebrated. It's rare. So people are talking about what you're doing, honey. They're talking about what you're doing, the big things. Let them talk. Do your own thing. I feel like you are with this group. I think you're doing the damn thing. I don't think I'm worried about you at all. I think you just clicked on the reading to say, hey, what's she going to say? Let's watch a fun pick a card. And that's exactly what it should be about. So if you want to catch that extended reading, seeing how we definitely have a man here showing up, you can definitely find it within the comment section of my pinned comment within the comment section. You can access it through there. That reading is waiting for you. I wish you all the best, group 1. Take care. Hi, everyone. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards image 2, this is going to be a reading. But before we start, a couple things. I have extended this reading. I have offered it through my Patreon platform on your person, what your person says about you to others, or what would they say about you to others. You can find that video through the comment section. Within the comment that is pinned by me, the link will be there, as well as if you want to book a personal, you can also find the link to my Etsy shop there as well. Please make sure that if you like the way that I read, you like my style of content, that you are subscribing and hitting all notifications. I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live. So let's get into your reading. We're going to channel everybody who's watching, and please bear with me. This is going to be a long reading. I'm going to be pulling from multiple decks. So it's important for you to listen to the message in its entirety so that you don't miss out on a message for you. So let's channel everybody who's watching in group 2. Let's bring forth the messages they need to hear, not the messages they want to hear. And let's bring it forth in a very clear and direct way so that I, as the interpreter, can interpret it to them. Embrace yourself, guys. While I may be picking up on positive things, I could also very much pick up on negative things, but it's important to hear both. So let's find out what people are saying about you to others, but are not saying to your face. Oh, wow, that's interesting. You got 2. Okay. I'm going to leave that one on top of that one. Wow. Give me more on the High Priestess. More. Give me more on the Ace of Cups. Give me more on the Knight of Pentacles. Give me more on the Page of Wands. Give me more on the Knight of Cups. So listen, you may actually be, give me a moment here. There could be a lot of chatter in regards to kind of things you like, things you're liking, like hobbies, but I just feel like there's also a lot about like your love interests. Why are you being talked about in regards to how likable you are? Not only that, I don't know if there's like a lot going on for you, or you get things easily, or you attract things easily. May even be like money, people. I don't know what this is. Like, so funny, how each pile can be so different from the next. I feel like with this pile, we've got a lot in regards to who you are as a person, like your personality. It's not even about things so much outside of you or what's happened to you, although we do have to, pull more cards. I just feel like here, there could be a lot of annoyances about the way you move. I don't know, secretive. You're hard to figure out. You've also got a lot of things going on for yourself too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some like bad ASS energy here, like people who just have a lot going on for themselves, even really just self-sufficient, have no issue really entertaining whatever they want in life. And it may not look like in this pretty box. I know we've got thousands of people watching here, but it's just the way that you do it. And you could be very different from the ones that are talking about you. You move differently than them. Maybe they're not accustomed to that. I do feel like for some of you, you may actually go outside the norms of what people would consider normal or traditional. You know, that could be something also people are talking about too, is there could, again, I'm going back to the beginning, there could be some interests. You have interests in some things. I don't care if it's the occult. I don't care if it is, I don't know, maybe you believe in certain things. But it's kind of funny to me because I feel like you attract, like, even though they want to talk about this, whatever they're saying, it's like it's working for you. That's the funny thing. So regardless of what people are not saying to your face, it doesn't really matter because you're doing the damn thing. And these could be people also. I didn't want to throw it out there with this reading that I would say who's talking about you, but these could be people who are finding it very hard to get close to you. You could have a way about you, like there could be something of an inner circle, like your inner circle is very tight. I think a lot of people want at you or get to know you, but High Priestess, she doesn't allow everybody and anybody. You know why? Because she has the gift of discernment and she can see and smell your BS a mile away. So I think what I'm picking up here generally is that people could be misreading you. They talk a lot about who you are, but they don't really know you. You're not easy to get to know. You could be like an onion. Needs to be like the layers are peeled. But I think with this Judgment card, I feel like there are judgments. So the main thing I'm picking up on with just the spread alone is that whoever's talking, whoever's not saying something to your face, firstly is actually very scared. Okay. So I'm actually now picking up with this group why they're not saying it to your face. People could be fearful of you, could be very scared. And I don't mean that you're intimidating. But you're like highly protected. You're highly protected. I don't think they would dare. High Priestess is protected. She, you know, she just has this shield. It's like you can just feel it when you meet her. She doesn't have to go on. She doesn't have to throw her hands around, raise her voice. But I just think here, these people would never dare say it to your face. It's like this unseen energy. They would be too scared. So I think what I'm getting, just as a summary from these cards, is that what people are not saying to your face, there's a bit of annoyance with your personality. Your personality is annoying. It's a bit annoying. It's hard to figure out. You're hard to read. Why do you act like this? I think there's also some curiosity as to kind of like wishing they could know why. And then also I feel like there could be people talking about you to another group, or it's within a group, about all the people who are attracted to you, or what you get, or who comes towards you, or why are you talking to this person but not me? Or why are you having all of these opportunities or offers? What's so great about you? So it's a bit conniving. It's a bit mean. I'm going to start going into other decks because I just don't feel like here I've got more, but maybe even also with the Eight of Cups here as well too, there could be something about disappearing acts or just hard to reach. You're hard to read. You don't give life. There's no energy. I'm pulling teeth to talk to you, to get to know you. But you could also be very dismissive. So people talk about that. And I do feel like when they are talking to others, sometimes they may be getting other people's opinions. Like, hey, am I nuts or is she just really distant, you know? Am I nuts or is she just, you know, selective, like selecting who she wants to be around? Maybe not in those words, okay? Because I do feel like you get along, you can get on with people. I don't even think you're doing this to everybody. So let's dive into another deck to get more information. So we're going to draw 5 from here. Let's find out what people are saying about you that they're not saying to your face. And I do feel like with this pile, it's intimidating. It's like, I really do feel like they would never say this to your face. Never dare to say it to your face. And I do feel like it's because you're protected in the sense that you're just not about dealing with that BS, okay? You don't want to hear about, you know, anybody's, because I feel like whatever they would want to say to you would be honestly a waste of your time. But I just feel like here you're protected that way as well. Like you don't got time for this, you know? You're busy. You're busy doing, you know, your thing. You're busy, you know, manifesting your life, living your life, being true to who you are. And I think for you, when you don't like somebody or if you don't want to be around somebody, it doesn't need to be expressed. It just doesn't need to be expressed, you know? It's just, nobody deserves that, you know? That's how I feel. Maybe for some of you, it could be. Give me more on what is being said about group 2 that is not being said to their face. Wasting your time. So I feel like a lot of people could talk about this. Maybe for some of you, there could be something about no respect for time. Maybe some of you, I'm going to put this out there because it's thousands of people. Maybe some of you have an issue with being on time. Maybe a lot of people feel like you waste their time. You are a waste of time. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean like, I picked up what I did pick up on with these cards. This is just kind of now clarifying that for me. Now for others of you with wasting your time, people could talk about the fact that maybe you just have a lot going on. You're not really even about wasting your time, or you have no time. There's a big emphasis with not the wasting part, but time with you. And I feel like I either can't get a hold of you or you're just always somewhere. You give off that impression also as well too, that maybe you just don't have that luxury of time. You're always doing something. You're always around somebody. They could be talking about this. But it's funny because I feel like for some would consider this a big issue, and it could even be in the work front. I just don't know where it would be. And maybe it's something that needs to get brought up to you, but like you're protected from that. So people just deal with it. Maybe they're too scared to bring it up to you. That's funny. I really want anybody who that resonates with to write me in the comment section. Give me more. Lights on, but no one's home. Are you kidding me? So we're getting, you know, the clarification of what I just picked up on here. I think people, okay, some, I'm going to be very honest with you, some, and this could be a game that you're strategically playing. Listen, you could be very, very smart with this group. You know, giving that impression that you're like dumb, but you're not. You're watching and you're listening to everything. I've done that before. I always say our biggest gifts from God are our eyes and our ears. Obviously, other parts, you know, like our senses, but one of the things I do say is the eyes and the ears. It's like the best gift, okay? Because if you just be quiet, you can actually pick up on so much. So I feel like for some of you, you could be getting talked about like airhead. Is she all there? Is that person all there? Is she even there? Is she aware? Does she see me? What's up with her? She doesn't talk. She doesn't say much. Talking to her is like pulling teeth. The funny thing about this is I feel like it's an act. It's an act because the high priestess will play that game. See, again, she can see you. And listen, I don't care if you're a guy watching. I get a lot of comments about make this for men. You will have to apply it to yourself, okay? That's not for me to do. A high priestess is a female, okay? She plays that game, you know? She's very aware. She can watch and see and sense a whole room, but she doesn't need to vocalize anything to you, okay? That's where she kind of falls short. And that would be for other people, because I feel like for her, it doesn't matter. She doesn't need to express it. But for other people, maybe they need to know. She's like, I don't need you to know. Okay. I know what I see. I trust what I see. I trust what I feel. But there could be a lot of that. Maybe even people who like know you personally and just feel like they want more. Like just want more. You know, they're talking about that. Like, I want more. Maybe not in those words, but you get where I'm going. Give me more. Oh my God, guys. Pile 2. Wow. Encrypted. There's a lot of confusion around you, and maybe even the things that you do, what you say. I wouldn't be surprised if we even got some people here. I'm kind of hearing, not all of you, just some of you. Don't click off. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some Geminis here with this particular card, because you could have a way with words, or maybe just an air sign. You could have a way with words. It's like, I think it's being talked about. Like, what did that mean? I feel like people take what you say, don't know how to respond, and then go talk about it to somebody else. Like, what do you think she meant by that? Or what do you think he meant by that? What does that mean? What is she implying? I don't get it, you know? But your whole facade could be encrypted. Could be an encryption in itself. You are a maze. You're hard to figure out. This is driving people nuts. Now that I'm kind of getting deeper into the reading, we're kind of going with this theme here. But it's crazy because I just feel like for a lot of other people, you may be a peach. You could be like the best friend ever. So I think this is kind of going towards people who just, those ones that you just don't want to be around, would never even want to be around, who's talking about you. But it's funny because they're not just saying it to, like, you know, when we talk about not saying it to your face, I feel like there's an added element here. Like they could be fearful of this, you know, because you have power in your energy, just in your energy alone, maybe your eyes. And I think they wonder, you know, you could be very actually intelligent, and they wonder what the heck you would, you know, how you would come back at them. Give me more. Go easy on them. So this card came out. That's why I always don't, you know, I don't draw jumping cards unless Spirit tells me to. Just an FYI if you see that on my channel. But you see, if it's meant to come out, it will come out. So we've got easy street. Go easy on them. For some of you, people could have some sort of opinion of some aspect of your life. What you do, go easy on them. Whoever you're going easy on, they have an opinion about this. Maybe for some of you, people don't like how you go easy on certain people. And that could be like your husband, your boyfriend, your kids. That could kind of come in through with, you know, unsolicited advice. You should be more harder on this. You should be, you know, it's funny too, because the high priestess, she kind of, even though she's protected, she gives off the impression that she's not protected. So you could get a lot of people actually, and I'm going to still apply this to the reading because yes, we're talking about what they don't say to your face, but it may not be that it's the full dialogue. It could just be hints dropped here and there. People say that like they drop hints to you, but they don't say the full thing to your face. But like how you should be, how you should act, how you should behave. I think for some of you, for a lot of you, you could get a lot of unsolicited advice in this. Like, I'm good. I'm really good. You have no idea who I am. Because I feel like you could give off the impression, though, that you are not weak, but like gentle and you need protection. So for some of you, that may resonate. But even if, like whatever I said before, you could still give off that impression as well, too. And people could drop hints here and there that, you know, you should be like this. You should be like that. You should speak up more. You should say this. You should do this. I feel like that with this card. Let me just look at it and see if I can pull anything else. For some of you, some people may feel like you need to go easy on people. Maybe some people are talking about your ruthlessness, okay? There's a side of you that's just ruthless, and when times where you should go easier, you go harder. So that could actually be what they talk about, that you should choose the easy streets instead of like the hard streets. And it is in regards to them, go easy on them. So this is people's opinions of how you interact with others. It could be. So 2 groups for that card. Some of you who fall into like that gentle, you know, looking like with a facade that you need protection, or that you need to act more out there or extroverted, or I don't know, harsher when people disrespect. And then there's another group where I feel like you need to be more easier on others. Maybe your methods or your ways are too strict. Maybe even people are talking about this, like, I wouldn't be surprised if some people who are watching don't have like a threshold for BS. Maybe people also are like, I can't believe she just got rid of me after that. Like, I don't understand. Like, just like that, you know, you just get rid of me. You don't even allow this to be bygones kind of thing. Maybe people also feel like you're strict in cutting off, or, you know, you just don't have a threshold, like a 3-strike rule or something. Maybe you only have a 1-strike rule. Could also be that as well. Give me more. Trip down memory lane. So we've got, I feel like, some people who are from the past who could be talking about their times with you, their memories of you. And listen, that could be very, you know, nice. Could be very nice. I'm not getting the energy around that, whether it's positive or negative. I just feel like there could be people who actually, actually there's a camera and there's photos. They could be looking at photos of you and talking about you within these photos. And for some of you, really weird. I just was shown maybe even like your image, your physical image of who you used to be. And maybe these people are holding on to that. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that would be. Maybe you have a very different look than you used to. But I just feel like people would rather remember you maybe like in the past as opposed to now. For some of you, oh, look what a nice person. Look what a nice girl she used to be. That's how I remember her. I don't like to remember her like the way she is now. I'm just using examples. Or there could be some people who are just, you know, talking about you, like they just bring out the photos and they talk about you with photos, or they look at something with you. I also wouldn't be surprised with this, you know, just with that watching energy, if people talk about you and show social media things about you. Like, hey, this is my whatever. Look, she's this is what she looks like. This, like, I feel like there's a going hand in hand here for some of you, where it's not just words, it's also pictures. And you may actually feel that sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if some people here feel that energetically, like people are looking at them or looking at photos of them. But this could also be that people talk about the past. So if there's any kind of issues that you've had, maybe in the past, you know, they may hold it against you. They may talk about what transpired in the past and just are not letting it go. They're staying in the past. Interesting. Okay, so let's get 3 cards from this deck. Whoa. Okay. What does group 2 need to be aware of in regards to what people are saying about them to others, but not to their face? There could be a lot of talks about what the trip down memory lane and the Page of Cups, like things that went like about you in your childhood. I don't know. That may make sense for some of you. Childhood, like you're talking about your childhood, but they don't bring it up to you. Maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe it's about things that happened in your childhood. Give me more. What is being said about group 2 that's not being said to their face? Narcissist. Someone is too full of themselves. Okay, so two things with this card. Either we've got a narcissist who just cannot let go. Okay, cannot let go. It's just, you know, with the narcissist card, I feel like I elevate this now, and I feel like this person just, and it could be a group of people, a group of them, or maybe you just are protected from these types of people, you know, who knows? But this is like elevated for me. So we got a lot of chatter, and we got chatter that's nonstop. It's like, even if they talk to somebody, that other person on the receiving end is like, oh my God, she's probably, or he's probably going to start talking about Amy. I don't even want to talk to this person because they're going to probably start talking about Amy, you know? And this could be a parent. It could be anybody. But this could also be that they talk about you in this sense. You know, they use this label for you. And I do feel like you're misdiagnosed with this. I think here, again, I've picked up on your energy. You've got the gift of discernment. You can see people a mile away, what they're, you know, about. And I think you're very selective. But people could be, unfortunately, labeling you like this, saying that you've got traits of one, and that you're full of yourself. You're full of yourself. You just think you're just the SHIT. For some of you, if you have had a narcissist in your life, this is just confirmation that it's them, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if you're not surprised about this, okay? I really wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's get another shuffle on. Give me more for this group, please. Health issues could arise. Some people could be talking about the way you are with your health. Maybe you do things that are not good for yourself. Maybe they talk a lot about how you take care of yourself and what will come. You know, this could be an overly concerned person, but it could also be that maybe this is also other aspects, you know, like mental health. I don't know. Somebody out there is talking about you, and honestly, it's not good for their health, actually. I got this message as well, too. I'm getting this message as well, too. Somebody is breaking their back to talk about you when really they need to take care of themselves and not look outwards. It's like they need the health checkup, okay? Not you. They are projecting. But for some of you, if you've dealt with something, okay, that you would, you know, health is a very big category, and that could be the way you take anything from what you eat to how you take care of yourself to something that you've went through in the past. This could be talked about, but it's not brought up to you. I don't think they would dare bring it up to you. Maybe for some of you that makes sense because you're constantly getting those kind of comments about maybe what you eat and stuff, or who knows, maybe it's here and there. But for others of you, I feel like people would be too scared to bring it up. But I do feel like whoever's talking, it's not good for their health. Oh my God. Okay, give me more. Caution, find out more information. Don't overwork yourself. I think a lot of people who are talking about you are, it's kind of interesting. I don't want to give them a pass, but they are very concerned. They are very concerned, I feel like, for you. It feels a bit strange to me, though. I know when it can come from a good place, but I don't necessarily feel like this is really from a good place. I feel like you're grown. You should be able to be, you know, I don't know. Do people have a lot of opinions about what you should be doing in life, or how you should be living, or what you should be eating? I mean, it goes on and on and on, I feel like, with this. You know, you should know what I'm talking about. This could be like a concern that people have, but it's like, to me, you're grown. And listen, if it's coming from a mother and it's like you understand that and it's coming from a good place, then by all means, accept that, you know, that message for what it is. But then I feel like for others of you, it goes far. It goes a little too far. And people become obsessed in worrying about you. obsessed in wearing, and they're like, they overworked themselves with this, you know. Very, very concerned about what you're doing, how you're living, who you're spending your time with. We've got a lot of nosy energy in this group, a lot of nosy energy. And I think you can handle yourself. That's just what I feel from this reading. I think you can handle yourself. I think you're doing okay. I think people need to back off. And with that narcissistic energy, somebody could feel like, whoever this is that's talking about you, could feel like they kind of somewhat own you or have some sort of possession over you, or a right to be like this over you, which is a little unhealthy, hence that health card. And it could be the friend group. It could be anybody, guys. It feels a bit unhealthy to me, okay? Let's get 2 cards now from this deck. What are people saying about group 2 that they don't say to their face? Change one thing today, start small. So again, we've got that energy of changing somebody. That is a beautiful card, but I feel like I'm incorporating it into the reading. And I just feel like here there could be a lot of advice about change. You changing, do this, be more like that, work towards it. It's like people got a lot of goals for you that are not your goals, which is so weird. So I'm going to want whoever chose this pile to let me know if you understand this, because it's a bit smothering in energy. It's smothering for me, even as the reader, to read it. And I feel like, you know, you can't make other people do things. Like, this has to be your goals if you want this. But I feel like with this, there could be a lot of like, you need to change this. You need to do this, do that. Oh, you can do it. You know, it's what I think. I know better. I know better than you. Because I think you can give this impression, like, again, like lights on, but nobody's home. So people start to take up for this, you know. They start to like come into the role like they need to tell you what to do because you can't, you know, navigate your own life. Give me more. Your soul whispers love, but your ego shouts fear. Same energy again. I think people are like misconstruing your strength. You know, with the strength card, let's talk about that actually. You know, that's a great card to get in a spread if it depicts you. But, you know, this woman on the card, she does it with grace. She does it with compassion and style. She's not a bulldozer, okay? You know, she has her hands on this lion and she's getting him to open his mouth, you know? Like, I mean, wow, right? But if you look at the way she's doing it, she's graceful about it. She's doing it with compassion and she is connected to her higher self. Hence the infinity symbol above her head. But it's just, you're not a bulldozer. So I just feel like here, there's a lot of presumptions about you. That you live in fear, or that you need protection, or that, you know, you're unsafe somehow, or you need people to be involved with your life. You need help. You always need help. Someone to the rescue. Someone needs to rescue you. Give me more from this deck, please. What is being said about group 2? That is not being said to their face. Blocks, pathways, and delays. So again, we're getting this energy of like, you need help. You need help. You need help with this big rock that's in the middle of the road. People are seeing things that are not even there. I think this is your life. There could be a lot of problems on the way that you live your life, or the way you choose to. What you choose to believe in. I don't know. People are seeing you, I feel like, as somebody who's naive and who needs protection and who needs help constantly. But I do want to say as well, too, though, people could be talking about your obstacles, which is not nice. Okay. So we all go through them, you know, sometimes publicly people can see what they are. You you know, or even if it's just, you know, something that maybe you say you're dealing with or whatever. But it could be that it's just people are aware of what you're dealing with. But they also want to come to the rescue as well, I feel like, too. But it's like they talk about these obstacles. And be careful, I want to say, with this group on sharing those obstacles, because you could be a person who maybe, you know, if these are even people that you value, you may be coming from a good place with this, just expressing what's going on with your life. But then I feel like these people, it's like, I don't know, damsel in distress. I need to come to the rescue. But they also could be talking about this. And it's hopping from one person to person and it's being spread. And the reason why we should never share our issues with people, you know, sometimes is because that person goes and tells another person and it gets spread and it multiplies in energy, okay? But they could be talking about your obstacles if you have them. Like what that would look like, I don't know. Maybe you have money issues. Maybe you don't have a good partner. Maybe you're jobless. You know, whatever way you would consider an obstacle in your life. They talk about this. They may not say it to your face, but they talk about it. And I'm getting an emphasis maybe on some family members, and it's kind of evil to me a bit, because I feel like I can't really put into words the energy I'm getting of when they're spreading this, but it's like, why would you spread this if that's your family? Why would you talk about what somebody's dealt with or what they've went through, you know? What is that about, you know? Give me more. We've got mature woman, socialite, connector, and high society. So for some of you, you could be talked about. You know, listen, some of you may be a mature woman. Some of you could be talking, you know, I'm looking at what she's wearing. Some people could be talking about you in like the way, and don't take this the wrong way, don't come for me, oh my God. But like, why are you dressing the way you dress? Or it's like there's some talk about not being your age, acting your age. It could be some of you for that, or what you're wearing. It's inappropriate. I'm going to say it straight up. Okay. I know this could be hurtful to hear, but listen, for some of you, you could get talked about in the way of, you know, with the high society subheader. It's kind of funny because I did feel like with the high priestess, she was very selective, you know, and she is high society. If you think about it, you know, she's just very picky and selective. But that high society may not be about that you're going to the most expensive parties. It could just be that you're just extremely careful energetically with who you allow into your space. And you only want it to be of the best of the best. And I mean energetically, even those people who are kind. You don't want to really surround yourself with people who are going to make you feel bad. Maybe you've had enough of that, honestly. Maybe some of you have come into that recently. You've dealt with that your whole life. You don't want it to be like that anymore. But listen, for others of you, if this resonates that you are a socialite, that you are a connector, or that you're always being, you know, and it's funny because this actually comes back to all those opportunities and invites that I was seeing before. Some of people could be talking about who you are in society. Maybe you're up there, you know, in the 3D. Maybe you're up there, you're connected, you know, you've got the nicest things. You're always being, you know, invited somewhere. And that's funny too, because they could be talking about you in a narcissistic way. Like you think you're the SHIT because of that. You know, maybe you are a narcissist because, I mean, she looks very confident, right? But I feel like narcissist would be the negative word for confidence. You know, you're just confident. You know who you are. You know, you're happy with who you are. She looks very content with who she is. Doesn't matter what she's wearing. She's wearing a nice halter top. She got her red lipstick on. She's like, I don't care how old I am. I don't care what I look like to you. I like the way I look. So there could be a lot of, you know, regard, you know, of you know, again, who you are as a person, what you're wearing, what is going on in your life. This is all very normal, guys. So don't get triggered, please. All very normal things, because, you know, if we're talking about a topic where people don't want to say these things to your face, it's probably most likely going to be negative things, okay? But then there are people who hold back on positive things too, but, you know, for the most part, I'm sure we understand what this reading is. Now, I've brought out the Rebel deck, okay? I've brought out the Rebel deck. I know this deck can be very triggering, but allow me to interpret it, okay? Don't click off. So what are people saying about group 2 that they're not saying to their face? Money. Make it rain. Oh, wow, honey. So listen, we got the dollar signs, and we all know that $3 signs means, you know, expensive. So you could be very wealthy, but you could have a way of attracting money to you, like very easily, doing nothing. For some of you, doing nothing, or maybe you've built some empire. I don't know. Think about how that's going to make sense to you. Do you attract money easily? Does things always work out for you? Regardless of what these people try to tell you about what you should be doing, you're like, look at me, I'm always coming out on top. But for a lot of you, you make it rain. You look nice. You have nice things. People are talking about your money. They're talking about your money. In what ways, it doesn't matter, but they talk about it. Maybe your nice shoes, what you've got, maybe what you spend your money on. They don't like what you make it rain on. Maybe they think what you spend your money on is stupid. Oh, well, not your life, right? More. You need a big effing hug, squeeze. So I do feel like here, again, there's this emphasis on what you need. And listen, for some of you, you could be very independent. Could be very independent. You could be a person who just doesn't have anybody right now. Maybe it's not important for you. Maybe you are good with yourself. Maybe people have a lot of, are saying a lot of things in regards to kind of like how you should be living. You should have a partner. You should have kids by now. You should have this by now. I don't know. But they also are talking about the fact that you seem like somebody, or you need like love. You just need more love. You need this, you need that. Maybe these people have a lot of comments in regards to the lack of love that you're exuding. You're not loved. You don't come from a place of love. You're cold. You're this, you're that. Okay. Go check out that extended reading if you'd like. Again, it's in the comment section within the pinned comment. I wish you all the best, guys. Let me know what you thought. Take care. Okay, so if you are gravitated towards image 3, before we start your reading, a couple things to note. I have uploaded an extended reading on my Patreon platform. It's going to be titled, What Does Your Person Say About You to Others? It is a love reading, but what are they saying? I tap into that. It was a very good reading. It was very juicy. Go check it out. You can find it within the comment section, within the pinned comment from me. The link will be there. As well as if you'd like to book a private reading, the link to my Etsy shop will also be there. Please make sure that if you are liking my content, the way that I read, you are subscribing and hitting all notifications. I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live. So let's get into the reading. We're going to draw, a general message to see kind of, the gist of what people are saying about you that they're not saying to your face. And then we're going to follow it up with oracle cards. So this could be a long reading. Just bear with me. Let's get started. So we're going to tell every single person who's watching in group 3, we're going to bring forth the messages they need to hear today, not the messages they want to hear. And we're going to bring them forth in a very clear and direct way so that I, as the interpreter, can interpret them to them. Oh, that moon had a lot of energy when it flew out. This could become a very shocking reading. This could be a very shocking reading by the time we're done. I feel like here there could be a lot of things being said behind your back. We know the moon is, all things that are hidden. People could be talking, and I'm going to let the reading speak for itself, so I'm going to put it back in. But with the moon, oh my God, you could be getting talked about a lot. So let's just pull the cards for you. Who or what, not who, we'll see. We'll see if who comes out. What is being said about group 3 that's not being said to their face? Give me more on the 7 of Pentacles. Give me more on 5 of Wands. Give me more on the World. Give me more on 6 of Pentacles. Give me more on 3 of Wands and more on Judgment. You know what's interesting? Let me just grab some water. The first thing I'm feeling like with the Lovers here is 2 things, actually. Let's just go slowly. I wouldn't be surprised if you're being compared to somebody else, okay? There could be a lot of comparing, and I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if it's that you've got a sibling that you're constantly compared to, or if you just feel like that makes sense because you're always being compared or being told to look at what this person's doing and how you should be doing better or you should be doing it like this. But I felt like with the Lovers as well, too, that your other person could be talking a lot about you. Yeah, I'm not going to put it past this this reading. Sorry. I don't know if you're aware of this. We don't know exactly what's being said. We have to wait. But your person is definitely talking about you. And I don't care if you're married. I don't care if it's a complicated situation. I don't care if it's a crush or if it's just somebody you've been making eye contact with lately. Your person could be talking a lot about you. And for some of you, there's a lot about the attraction that they have to you and how maybe it never goes away or maybe there's no closure. Oh my God, this group may really want to go check out that extended reading because that is a love reading and it's more focused on your person. But with that Ace of Wands, there could be somebody talking about an attraction that they have for you. And it could be your husband. I don't care. I don't care who it is. But this attraction keeps them up at night. It causes chaos in their life. But listen, in the way of this reading, because of the way it's titled, it may not be your husband just because these people are not saying it to your face. So I think somebody feels a lot more than what they let on. But hey, if your husband's not the most vocal or expressive, he could be hiding this as well too. But this makes me feel more like crush, complicated situation. Somebody's extremely attracted to you and they talk heavily about this attraction and how it just doesn't go away. It doesn't lighten up. They could be even talking about what it's doing to them and how it's like, I don't know, we're very in love here, very in love. Now, for others of you, there could be some talk, and we're not talking about, you know, your person anymore, just in general. There could be a lot of talk in regards to something new that you've just done, okay? Either that, or you could be a very risky person to these people, always doing something new. Listen, I'm not going to lie. Some of you could be showcased. I wouldn't be surprised if actually people are talking about this in a good way. Like, my daughter does this, my son is this. People are showing you off behind your back, but they may not do it. Like, they may not, I don't know. You may not know about that to your face. You could be surprised by some of that. But some of you could be very much showcased. Now, listen, with the High Priestess, it kind of does talk about what is being done in secret. Because I feel like for some of you, you could be dealing with a lot of people who judge you, but really they showcase you behind your back. So that's a bit twisted, but I know it happens. I've actually known many people who don't really make or give any compliments to me about what I'm doing with my business or here on YouTube. But then they'll tell me that when they talk about me to others, then they show my profile and stuff. And I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, great. That makes a lot of sense, but okay, do you? So it could be like that. Sorry, guys. Oh my God, my throat. Maybe I'm getting some sort of blockages in my throat chakra as well too, because that's also to, you know, in regards to like this reading and what people cannot say to your face. I feel like people are a little bit afraid to humble themselves in front of you. I think you're dope. I really do. I think people think you're dope, but I don't know. There's a humbling that needs to be had, especially with the Six of Pentacles. And I don't know if people want to do that. People can get scared to do that. You know, there's various reasons why people don't do that. But that's actually very common. That can be seen in so many different ways, you know, because people sometimes feel like if they say something or they congratulate you, it's like they're adding to or contributing to the success, you know, and they don't want to be like that. They'd rather be bitter, you know. But I do feel like here there's a lot of respect. There's a lot of respect for you. And this pile is going a bit different than the first two, which is kind of cool. But I feel like here, there's a lot to be proud of. And I feel like people speak about your progress, or they speak about you in a very actual positive light. They speak about you in a positive light. I'm surprised by this. I'm not really getting too much negativity from this main, main overview. I mean, we have to go into the oracle cards, but you could be very well, I feel like when people are talking about you to others, it could make them look good by talking about you, that they know somebody like you, that you know what you're doing, what you're accomplishing. But I do still feel like for some of you, you could be compared, okay? Compared to others. It's kind of like something people talk about. Maybe there's this like competitive energy. Maybe people also talk about their competitive energy with you. I don't know what it would look like, but it could be I feel inferior to this person. I don't feel like I, live up to this person's standards. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if that's your person, okay? Like your lover, your love interest, also saying that as well too. So I can't really get much more from this. I'm going to move into the oracle cards now. So let's channel again everybody who's watching in group 3, and let's bring forth what they need to hear about what others are saying about them to others, but don't say to their face. Independence. Wow, that's a great card. Like, you want to be talked about like that. You really do want to be talked about like that. Like, you're doing the damn thing, and you're like self-assured. You're like got your head on straight. But isn't that funny how I said something about a risk? But cause like, look, she really gives the same vibe as the Fool. Just kind of venturing off and starting something and just going, and she doesn't know where she may be going. Maybe she knows where she's going, but she doesn't know where it will take her. I feel like people talk a lot about like your independence, and listen, it could be negative for some people. Maybe, these are traditional people, you're headstrong, but for the most part, I feel like it's positive. I really do. I think even the people who are talking about you, they're not just talking. I think they're like, you give them life. You give them life, honey. They're living through you. And it's like, they could talk about it negatively if they wanted to, but secretly they're jealous of this, because you've got the chutzpah to like move forward, take risks, and go alone. Maybe you are alone. I never thought about that as well either. Maybe people talk about the fact that you're always alone. Oh, maybe you don't have anybody. And whether it's negative or positive, I just feel that. They could also be talking about how maybe you just not a part of a group. You're not really into that, but you're always off doing something alone, but you're doing something new, and you're brave enough to do it alone. So yeah, this is really going positively. Okay, I had the deck, and they're like, look at the deck. Spirit was like, you got to incorporate this. Okay. So I'm going to secret crush. Your secret crush could be talking a lot about you to other. I think someone's got a crush on you, and I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's an ex. I don't care if it's a complicated situation. Someone is like adores you. Someone adores you, and they talk a lot about that instant attraction, that attraction they have for you. It keeps them up at night. It drives them nuts. You drive them crazy, honey. You drive them nuts. Wow. Maybe people actually also talk about the fact that you always have a crush or that people like you. You're likable. It's funny. I was going to pick up the deck and start shuffling it, but they're like, no, grab the one in the bottom. I'm like, okay, because I do whatever spirit tells me to. So listen, your secret crush is popping up in here, and they're like gaga. They're gaga for you, and they're talking a lot. And listen, maybe even people talk about your secret crush. Maybe they're not saying it to your face. Maybe people know that you've got a crush. Oh goodness, let's read this another way. Maybe be careful who also you're talking to about this secret crush. Maybe maybe this is about you also. You've got a secret crush. Maybe people are talking about that. You know, they're spreading it. Give us more. Give us more. What's being said about group 3 that is not being said to their face? Control, Alt, Delete. So with this card, this is very much about something that's been abrupt, okay? Maybe this is even pointing to the people who are talking about you. Maybe you've just recently X'd out somebody, okay? But if it's not that, this could be about your ways, okay? Maybe it's not, you're not afraid to like X somebody out. Maybe people look at you like you're very tough as well too, and you're just not afraid to, you know, end things. Because with that independent spirit as well too, I think you're very busy, but I also think you don't give a rat's behind about, you know, really putting energy into things that are not working. I think you've got a good head on your shoulder. And listen, some people, they have a hard time with that. But I feel like with you, I really do get this energy of like knowing what's good for oneself and just has that healthy respect for oneself. You're there, you're already there, or maybe you've always been there. Maybe that's just you, because I'm talking to thousands of people. But there could be a lot of talk about who you've just gotten rid of, or who you want to get rid of, or who, this is the person who's talking, who you've just gotten rid of. You may have Control, Alt, deleted them out of your life, but they're still talking. They're still yapping, okay? But this could also be about your ways. Because I can't keep my eyes off of this card. Does this person on this card look like they play? Do they look like they play? They don't play. They're very stern. I'm not saying that you're not a nice person, but I think like you've got business to do, to tend to, you know? And I think your life is extremely important. So you just don't have time out here to be, you know, wasting time. That could be talked about. To some people, you could be hardcore. Not gonna lie. To some people, you could be very hardcore. Very hardcore. It's kind of funny. They just shot through Capricorn to me. I'm not saying that you are one. There's thousands of people. Do not just click off because you're not a Capricorn. But for some of you, I felt like I saw Capricorn. Give me more, please, on what's being said. So far, this is looking good. I have to say, as opposed to 1 and 2. Give me more on what's being said about group 3. Bait and switch. So listen, I think here, you've got a way about you. You're known for a way. You're known for a particular way. Like, I'm nice, like she's nice, but don't mess around. You don't want to mess around with her because she can switch it up in a moment's notice, okay? And, you know, I think this is even people, when they talk about you, they warn others, to be honest. You know, like, yeah, she may look like a goldfish, Because maybe they're hearing people talk about how sweet you are. But then these people are like, but don't PISS her off or him off. Don't do that, because this one can switch up. But listen, they could also be talking about your moods. I'm not gonna lie here. With the bait and switch, you could be very multiple in personalities. And it could be without a moment's notice, okay? It could be not even like there's no notice at all. It's just all of a sudden you're just moving in a different direction. And people, I think, are a little bit alarmed at this at sometimes, and a little bit, not scared, but it keeps them on edge. And I wasn't surprised to see the High Priestess here, because she can do that. High Priestess is very known for all the senses being activated: eyes, ears, nose, intuition. So there could be definitely good reasons as to why you bait and switch, but I think for people on their ends, they don't understand it sometimes. But I also want to say another thing too. You could be talking about, you could be getting talked about how tough you are as well too. Like, you can swim. You can swim your way out of anything. You are a go-getter. You are like fabulous. Like, you know how to go with the current, and you know how to make things happen for yourself. Like, this is not anybody in pile 3 who's waiting around for anything. Look at her. She got her bags packed. She's out of here. Give me more. Oh, wow. Public attention. Guys, a lot of you are famous. I mean that. Either you're famous in your community, or you're famous in your little friend group, or you're, I don't know, on YouTube, or you got a business. I don't know. Like, let's not go to the nines when I say stuff like that. I could be famous, in the tarot community. Let's not go to, great heights here, okay? But I just feel like here, you're getting a lot of attention. I think a lot of people talk about you. A lot of people. I don't think people can help but not talk about you, because I think you're always doing something interesting. But you could be very cool. Yeah, very cool. But if this resonates that you are public, you're in the public eye to some degree, or you're on YouTube, or you're famous, like, they could talk about what you're attached to, like what you're doing, your projects. Oh, wow. I knew there was going to be one pile where it wasn't going to be that negative at all. I guess it ended up being yours, group 3, because this looks great to me. It's not even really hateful. It's not even hateful that much at all, to be honest. But let's keep going. We got more ducks. Let's not, we got to keep going here, because we just don't know what could come up. So let's just keep going. What is being said about group 3 that is not being said to their face? Move on. Someone is unavailable and a waste of time, or it's over. So listen, a couple things with this card. Either you've just moved on from somebody. Okay, think of anybody you've just kind of shut the door on, or you've walked away from. That's the person who's speaking of you. Okay, and I don't care if it's from 10 years ago. It could have just happened recently, or it could have been from the past. But this could also be about something that you've done. Like, did you move on from something? I would not be surprised if the actual moving on is being talked about. Moving on in a divorce, moving on from a workplace, maybe even taking a risk and moving on. And people are like, oh my God, what a risk. Can you believe she walked away, or he walked away from that? This could also indicate to, like, your energy, that you're unavailable. I think you're very busy. I feel very busy energy with this group. I don't sense anybody who's waiting by the phone, or who is very gung-ho about making hanging out a priority. I think you're very busy trying to, I don't know, swim above water, trying to get, your business started. It's all about you. But people could be making comments about, like, this personality of yours, hard to reach, not really feeling like you maybe even there for them. It's hard to get to know you. You don't really want to hang out. You don't really allow, like, it's going to take a freaking forever to get to know you. It could be that. But it could be also too how well you move on. It's a bit shocking maybe for some people. Maybe some people are talking about the fact that your move on style is looks a little too easy, looks a little too effortless, etc., etc., etc. Give us more. What is being said about group 3? That is not being said to their face. Communicate, compromise, forgive, work it out. Like you're not, listen. Okay, so again, we have another card pointing to maybe someone you've kind of stopped communicating with, someone who wasn't a very important person at a time in your life. I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care if it's your father, whoever it is. But it could be coming from somebody, okay, that you haven't communicated with in a while, or there's been communication cut. But this could again be about your style, like your personality style. You're not really the compromised person. You're not really the forgive type person. You're not even really maybe the work it out type person. And it's not that you're not willing to do that, but I think for you, you have a good hold on what is a waste of time. And the people that could be talking about this may not be, able to see that. And they can't understand it, I think secretly they wish they actually had the BALLS to do this, but they'd rather talk about you doing it, instead to do it themselves. So, or there could be, just to be fair as well too, gotta incorporate this all different ways. You could be getting talked about like as a third party, from a third party, as to kind of what you engaged in with another person. This could be like some gossip being talked about with some following out you had about another person. So let me just give you an example. Let's say you just don't want to talk to like your cousin anymore, or your father, or your uncle. It could be your aunts talking about this, you and this other person. It's like not their business, but they want to talk about what happened between the two of you. So it's almost like a third energy. Could also be talking about, who you've had an issue with. Or if it's in your workplace, let's say you decided to like move on, could be all the people in the office chatting about it, like what went down with you and your boss. You get where I'm going? Like a third party energy. Let's get another card. What is being talked about for group 3 that is not being said to their face? So we've got a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Now listen, that could just be validation that this is your pile. It doesn't have to be, don't worry if you're not a water sign, but this could also be your person, okay? Or if it makes sense that this is the person you've kind of gotten into a problem with, what I just mentioned, maybe they're the water sign, or maybe it's the water sign that's talking about you, okay? But whenever I get these cards, I always draw another one because I just don't consider it much information. So I'm going to get another one for you guys. You get an extra confession. Someone has something to tell you. So what did I say? Someone's got feelings for you, more feelings than you would think that they do. They're holding back. But maybe it's not that they're holding back. They're just not saying it to your face. I mean, I guess it could be the same thing, but they've got something to tell you. Actually, I want to read this another way. Someone actually wants to confess to you that someone else has been talking about you. I think we've got another person here. Like this is you. This is the person who wants to confess because other people are talking to them about you. I think somebody knows something and wants to divulge it to you as well too, in regards to this theme, in regards to the theme of this reading. Ooh, spicy. Okay, let's get more. Let's get 2 from this deck. What is being said about group 3 that is not being said to their face? Communication. Wow, that's crazy. So we got 2 cards in regards to communication, texting, phone calls, online. I think people are talking about you online. This could be a good thing if you're famous or if you have an online presence. That could be actually a good thing. Maybe people are like talking about you like, hey, I know this tarot reader. Oh my God, you should check her out. She's really good. Her name is Chitra. Okay. Or it could be that, you know, this gossip is being spread online about you. Okay. Or people could be, you know, on the phone. Like that's a real big indicator that people are talking about you guys. You know, I mean, in this day and age, people don't really get together anymore, do they? I don't think so. They text, they call, right? But listen, I want to also put out a little bit of like a prediction here. You may actually receive some sort of communication about this in regards to the theme of this reading. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens for you. And I don't care when you're catching this reading. All my readings are timeless. You may get some sort of like an idea or like a bone thrown to you as to like, this is being taken, you know, it's being taken place. You find out about it, that people are talking about you. Oh my goodness. But listen, for others of you, there could be something about your communication style. Okay. We've gotten that also throughout the reading. Maybe you're hard to reach. Maybe you don't respond to texts. It's annoying. I actually am hearing somebody say to somebody else, why would it take her 3 days to respond to a text? That sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds like me. Like, people have said that before about me. Why does it take you so long to text back? I'm busy trying to make my life happen. Maybe that's why. So it could be even that too, like the way you communicate. It's like a big question mark. People don't understand it. Maybe even for some of you, your emails are interesting, or the way that you write, your texting style. I'm even getting this thing with vocabulary. It could be even talked about as well too, like compared. Maybe that's what that comparing was too. Maybe there's two people who compare you. Like, hey, do you know she does that? Yeah, I do. Oh my God. It could be actually two people talking about you. I never thought about that either. Give me more. Oh, wow. Wow, guys. I really want whoever chose this pile to let me know what's going on, because you are a beauty queen. They talk about your beauty. You're beautiful. Look how happy she is. They could be talking about how happy you are, how you're just out there living your life. You're shining. You're on stage and you're adored. You're shining. You're on stage and you're adored. You also look really good. That's the first time I actually said that in this reading. You could look really good, like really good, guys. Like got the full package, even physically, just really pretty in your own way. Body's banging, clothes are banging. You just look like, I don't know, living your life to the fullest. And maybe these people live through you. Maybe they live through you. They talk about how adored you are, how everybody likes you, everybody loves you. You're something to talk about. I have to say that as well too. I'm not surprised by this. You definitely would be someone to talk about. It's never boring. Never boring with you. You're out there, you're doing it. You're living. You're living. You're a YOLO. You want to live the most. It doesn't matter how old you are. I don't even care if you're 60 watching this. Like you're out there, you're not letting anything get to you. Like you're going to make the most of your time here. But all that shining energy around her too, it could be even just like, you know, there's something about you. It's just spectacular, you know, spectacular. I wouldn't be surprised. People are very obsessed with you. Yeah, this is very obsessed. And I think if this is like somebody who's related to you, like they would definitely want to show you off. Definitely. Like you are somebody to show off, regardless. It's not about just your physical aspects, okay? Give us more. What's being said about group 3 that's not being said to their face? Turn into your inner peace. So I do think here, sorry, not turn, tune into your inner peace. I think people talk a lot about where you're at in life. Even if you don't resonate with having anything or you don't feel like you have anything, I mean, guys, there's always be something to be grateful for. But even if you feel like that doesn't resonate with you, you're not really in the public eye, and maybe you're struggling, People could be talking about the fact that, even though you are struggling, you've got peace. We can see it, we can feel it, on her or him, in a good space, just doesn't matter, where you're at in life. I know I kind of hyped up the reading, but you will have to, take it in the ways that it resonates with you. And I just feel like here, no matter what you're doing, you've got yourself together. You seem like that. Even if it looks like your life is falling apart, you come across as somebody who is very peaceful, minding your own business, doing your own thing, staying in your own lane. With this as well too, I feel like there's also an appreciation for like no drama. I think people talk about you in the sense like, there's never any drama with her, or him. And she never has a bad word to say about anybody. That's all for me, incorporated with the inner peace, okay? More. Turn lemons into lessons. So I think people are aware, or they could be aware for some of you, of your story, your life. It hasn't been the easiest, but you're doing the best that you can do. You're turning all these lessons into lemons. What am I saying? Sorry. You're turning all these lemons into lessons, and you're making the most of it. You're making it look pretty. You're doing the best that you can. Nobody can say anything bad about this group. Really, honestly, they cannot. They have to really pick and nitpick. Even if your life is just, a disaster, like you're really being graceful about it, and you're making the most. You have a smile on your face. Again, you're staying in your own lane, and you're just trying your best to just, be happy. What are people going to say about that? Like, really? Now, this deck is a bit triggering, I understand, but I thought it was so appropriate. It's the Rebel deck. We need to incorporate it, especially when we're talking about what people are saying about us. Let's see. It will be interesting to see what comes out here, seeing how it has such a fabulous reading. So let's find out what is being said about group 3 that is not being said to their face. You are being shady. Watch out. SHIT could get ugly. Okay, sometimes people feel like you do throw shade. I don't think your shade is intentional. I just think you're minding your own business and doing your own thing. And again, I just don't feel this is so elevated for me. This doesn't feel super elevated for me. This feels like maybe you're doing something, or you're deciding, maybe you don't have time right now to deal with somebody, or you're busy, you can't respond to a text. I think sometimes people think you're throwing shade, but you're not. And maybe you have an ability to squash that really quickly, but maybe sometimes that would resonate with you, because people would say like, oh, you didn't respond to my text, or, oh, you never called me, or I haven't seen you, you didn't check in, or something along those lines. But I feel like sometimes you have the ability to make people feel like you're throwing shade. But I think it's not elevated for me. I think people start to really see how busy you are, or that you're doing something, and that it's not really like that. But I think there's a capability of being talked. There's something where they're talking about this. Like, was that shade? Did this person just throw me shade? But then I think once they really think about it again, I just think maybe you didn't see the person, you were busy, you were doing something, you had to go, or like you just couldn't get back to their message in time. So that, again, for me, it's very watered down. Let's grab another one. Stop talking, shut your mouth and listen. Sometimes people feel like you're hard to reason with or hard to talk to. Maybe they even feel like you're a know-it-all at sometimes. The funny thing is, I do feel like you are a know-it-all. Like, I think you do know what you know. So these people could just be, I don't know, maybe don't want to hear it or don't want to learn from you. I actually do feel like you know what you know. I don't feel like you're talking out of your ASS, actually. But I just feel like sometimes people can't express themselves to you, or it's like you don't even want to hear their side, or you don't want to hear what they have to say. There could be some difficulty in this, okay? So we did get something a bit, I guess it could be considered negative, but I just feel like You have to have the last word. They talk about this. There's no reasoning with you. Could be a little even hard-headed. But listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't come with the territory here, because you're very strong in energy. You're very strong in energy. And like I said, I think it comes with the territory. So just a few things here and there, but for the most part, really nice, group 3. If you want to check out that extended reading, check it out in the pinned comment. You can find the link there. But I wish you all the best. Take care. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards image 4, before we get into your reading, a couple things to note. I have done an extended reading, and that extended reading is going to be on your person. What is your person saying about you to others, or what would they say about you to others? That's going to be a love reading specifically. It is going to be offered through my Patreon platform, so go check it out. The link will be within the pinned comment from me within the comment section, as well as you can find the link to my Etsy shop should you want to book a personal. Please make sure that if you are liking the way that I read or my style of content, that you are subscribing and hitting all notifications. I don't want you missing out on a reading from me or when I go live, so please make sure that you are doing so. Let's get into it. So I'm going to draw with this deck a general idea to give me the gist of what's going on in regards to you, what people are saying behind your back, but not to your face. And then we're going to go into the Oracle decks. So please bear with me. This could be a long reading, but don't click off. Listen to the message in its entirety before you make a judgment. So let's get into it. Let's channel everybody who's watching in this group. Let's bring forth the messages you need to hear at this time, not the messages you want to hear. And let's bring it forth in a very clear and direct way so that I, as the interpreter, can interpret them to you. So what is being said about group 4 that is not being said to their face? And just be aware, positive things could come out, negative things. It could trigger, but it should not. Just bear with me. Give me more on the Page of Swords. We got a lot of gossip. A lot of gossip. Guys, we've got a lot of gossip about this group, okay? The Page of Swords tells me that. That's the gossip and actual innuendo card. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've received many of these like type of snippy comments, or have always had this like your whole life happening to you. Maybe people just, giving the truth in like doses, or like trolls around. I don't know what's going on. I feel like this has followed you for some of you. For some of you, I feel like, I'm not going to lie here, there could be a lot of talk about your connection to somebody else. I wouldn't be surprised if we have like 2 people who want to be together, and then we've got all this energy around them. And it could be their family, it could be your family, I don't know, but there's a bunch of chaos around a particular union. And if that resonates, that you've told people about someone that you felt very deeply about, this is also what they could be talking about. I feel like the topic of discussion for some of you could be about you and another person, okay? But listen, if you are not with anyone, this could also be that people are talking about when will that day come. There could be a lot of pressure or, discussion around when you will, join forces with somebody, in the love department. I don't know. Maybe you're single. Maybe people have a problem with it. Who the heck knows? But it could be your relationship with this person. And I do feel like there's a lot of people around who've got their noses in this. They've got their noses in this. And they're chatting, they're yapping. Now, listen, we've got a Queen of Wands on the bottom. You're very powerful. You need to know you're very powerful. Your whole presence is powerful. I have this feeling as well too with the Queen of Wands that you don't tend to mince your words. You don't tend to hide your truth, okay? This could also be something that's being discussed about in regards to you. Your bravery, but sometimes it tends to go too far. Maybe when things shouldn't be said, they're being said. I do feel like for some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you are that one that says what nobody else wants to say, but it's like wants to say, but can't say, that type of stuff. I'm going to say another thing as well too. If you've shared what would be considered your miseries with people, be very careful. I do feel like this is also being spread. I feel like here we've got this card that makes me feel like that. How tough of a time you're doing or having. I think and I don't know if this is the past that people are holding on to it or if it's what it's occurring right now, but people could be talking about your struggles. Like they could be living for your struggles with that Nine of Cups, living for it. Like watching, stalking, discussing how hard how hard it is for you to get somewhere, okay? Get to be somewhere, or what you haven't gotten to. Because with the Nine of Cups, this is also, I feel like, an outcome. And maybe they know that you're trying to go or get or reach an outcome. And it's been very tough. I do feel like people talk about this. This feels a bit to me like something's wrong with these people a bit to kind of be so entrenched in this. Someone else's miseries or sadness. I think we've got some really unhealthy people maybe around as well too. Even that tells me that with the Five of Pentacles, they're drawn to this. They're drawn to this about you. And I wouldn't be surprised as well too if like people have tried to get this out of you or you notice this. Like I think you're aware to some degree with this group because people are always trying to get you to spill some sort of, I don't know, beans, secrets, what's really going on with you. Maybe they're even prying. I don't know. They want to know about your miseries, which is interesting. Now, listen, if you speak openly about this, I would never tell anybody not to kind of talk about what they want to talk about because I do feel like your truth is very important to you. But just know that this is being spread or it's being talked about. And that carries its own energy in itself. Okay. So, when we talk about our stuff, right? That's not so great happening to us. If it keeps getting spread, it multiplies in energy. Okay. And that could be also the result of why we keep feeling or experiencing the same things. So it's a bit of a tough one for me as a reader because I can see here with the Queen of Wands, you may be an open book. You may be somebody who's not afraid to talk about like your struggles or your hard times or put it out there. But I feel like whoever you're attracting to you, like they're attracted to the miseries for some reason. So this is a bit interesting. Now, the other thing that I feel like, could be getting talked about with the Queen of Swords too is that sometimes you're a bit cold. You're a bit, like not figurable out. They can't figure you out sometimes. I do feel like here with the Queen of Swords, you can have this coldness to you. And I think whoever is doing this talking is an enemy, actually, to be very honest. I think this could be even, with respect to if this is being talked about, like your relationships being talked about, it could be those on the side of that partner who just kind of hated you right away, but like you had your guard up. Maybe you have your guard up in life too. Maybe, you talk about your struggles, but you also have your guard up. But I feel like there's something confusing about you. There could be something about you that you have this like total drastic in opposites with personality. It kind of leaves people a little confused. So you could be, while you could be very open, then you have this other way about you where you could just be very private. So that's interesting, actually, to have those two traits. Because I find usually either like this or you're like that. But then again, I could see how that could be, because I've shared a lot of things about my life, but I'm still very private. So yeah, this one's a bit interesting. We'll have to kind of find out more, because I don't have much more anything to say. But I do want to say one last thing about that Five of Cups on the bottom. I think people talk about like your suffering. They talk about the things you deal with, and it's like a target. I feel like it's targeted. Like they're using something that you're dealing with like against you, you know? I don't want to get into examples. I feel like you should understand that if it resonates with you. Let's get more. What is being said about group 4 that is not being said to their face? And I just want to say with the Page of Swords, this can also be opinions about your struggles. Now, they're not sharing that to your face, although maybe for some of them they are, but it feels very much like an innuendo. It doesn't feel like it's like from a good place. It feels like it's a jab or like a dig, you know? But I feel like they use whatever you're going through against you. Give me more. What is being said about group 4 that is not being said to their face? Aiding and abetting. Oh my God. Okay, so I feel like here we've got maybe a group of people who are just really giving off this energy. Like people who are working together, you know? And it could be like let's just take this down a notch so you don't get scared. Let's say it's like your aunts and your cousins, or it's like a slew of people, or maybe it's like your whole family. Maybe it's your husband's family, like working and conspiring together. And I don't mean like they're going to do anything bad to you, but we're talking about what they're saying about you. So, you know, nobody's going to just talk to themselves, right? They're going to talk to another person, whether they get together with another person, they call them up on the phone. That is like plotting, because it's negative energy to do that. I mean, you have to ask yourself, right? People who are busy or who are in a good space, don't spend time doing that. So I totally understand the whole aiding and abetting, but there's definitely like, maybe even for some of you, like 2 people. Even if you've noticed like 2 girls in the office or whatever are starting to talk about you, or it's like you're getting the same vibe for both. It's like we've got like a duo, or a group that is doing this. It's not just like a solo person. It's like we've got like a clan. And that's what I feel these people are as well too. This group. More belligerent. Okay. Some people, this is where group 4 is going to probably be like, oh man, this is getting dark. This makes me feel like Queen of Wands again, in a way. Okay. In a way. I mean, I love her, just in a way. But she could also be you with the Queen of Swords as well too, where you suppress, and then when it comes out, it's like, oh my God. People could have or be saying or have opinions about the way that you communicate, the way you kind of become unhinged. You've got no boundaries, okay, with your mouth. Sometimes it's just like, did you see the way she talked to me? Did you see the way she talks? Do you see the way she expresses herself? It's somewhat belligerent. And belligerent, if you're not really familiar with that type of word, it's like careless. It's like careless. It's like there's no thought process. You just kind of have no filter from your brain to your mouth. You're just free flowing, you know? They could have thoughts about this. They could be talking about it. Like I was about to say the F word, but the messed up thing about this is that I feel like these same people could actually be the ones who are trying to even target to get this reaction out of you. So I've got, just even as a reader, a weird energy on these people who are doing this. And, you know, you may be whatever you are, but like, they're no better. They're no better. Because I feel like they're playing around with you. Like they're trying to get a rise. Like they enjoy this, you know? Nothing else to do, these people, I feel like. More. Karmic lesson, lessons learned. Okay, so for a lot of you, this could be people that you've experienced tumultuous, connections to. Tumultuous, okay? You may know exactly who these people are. They could come across as karmics. Karmics are not the funnest at all, okay? They don't have our back. I mean, they show up in this life to teach us something. They do that, I'll give it that, but they can be mean. And then the other thing I want to say with this is that maybe this is a karmic lesson. Maybe this is a karmic lesson. I don't want to go too deep into that because I can go down a rabbit hole and I don't have time for that, okay? But this whole experience of this topic could be something you're dealing with karmically. It's like, didn't I say at the beginning, may have been something you've just always dealt with, like being attacked? It's funny actually. They're telling me to go to like revert back to like the thumbnail image. She looks actually, when you look at her on the thumbnail, she looks like what would be on like a victim poster. You know what I mean? Someone who's been silenced or shushed up, or, you know what I mean? It's a very dark image. I could see that. I could see how that could be on like a victim poster. I just want to look at that. Give me a moment. That card, if I get anything more. For some of you, they could be talking about you and your karmic. They could be talking about you and your person. Maybe you and your person have or experience sometimes toxic things together. Or maybe you've been in a karmic, like toxic situation. They hold that forever against you as well too. Maybe a lot of you, you're not with them anymore, but they revert back to that constantly. Her and that person, oh my God. Do you see what happened with them? Do you see what she put me through when she was with that person? I don't know. I don't know what it will sound like. But that could be something as well here. More. Caught out there. For some of you, maybe you have been caught out there doing something that is a very, they're showing me the reaction of, oh my God, scandalous, something like that. Some of you could be engaged or have done something that was quite the talk of the town. That's for some of you. Don't click off, okay? This reigns for thousands. If you want a personal, that's different, okay? Some of you may have been caught out there. You've just recently been involved in something, okay? That's being talked about. It's like too easy for them. It's too easy for them, I feel like. They are talking about this. It gives them life, though. Isn't that sad? I don't have anything more to say about that. Unless it refers to somebody you know. Maybe somebody you know. Maybe your partner was caught out there. Maybe they talk about that. But there's a scandal around you. There's a scandal. And I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's that you're homeless. I don't care. They could think homelessness is a scandal. I just don't know, You'll have to participate as the viewer and say, like, how does that resonate with your life? More. Unrequited love. Yikes. Wow. This is deep, group 4. Very deep. I'm going to want anybody who chose this that it resonates with to let me know in the comment section, because this is very heavy. Very heavy. Somebody could be talking about, again, maybe something you're engaged in, like some sort of love situation that you've been engaged in where maybe you, I don't know, were made to look like a fool because the love was not reciprocal. It could be even from these people who you are, maybe even for some of you are aware, but maybe some of you are not aware at all, that they just don't feel that way about you, that you feel about them. And maybe it will be coming to light soon, maybe it will be coming to light soon. But this could also be someone that you don't love anymore. It's not requited anymore. It's not requited anymore. It's not reciprocal. This could be even like an enemy, a past enemy, or someone who you would consider an enemy, someone who really did you over. They could be talking. But I think if we're just sticking on the topic, they could be talking about something you have going on with someone else in which they've got opinions about it. Maybe you're giving too much to it. Maybe you're a fool. Maybe you think you love this person loves you, but it's just they have their own opinions. You are being heavily gossiped about, like in a very negative way. I have not seen anything yet positive. It doesn't mean that there are not things that are positive, but with this reading, Spirit's going to take the moment of this time while they have your full attention to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So if you need to hear this, that's what they're going to bring forth. And obviously I can't be here all day, right? But there could be positive things. There could. So let's just keep going, okay? I know it's a bit tough. This is a bit tough to hear this, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you are not going to be surprised. So let's get more from this deck. Whoa. Oh, goodness. What does group 4 need to be aware of in regards to others talking about them, but not saying it to their face? Honeymoon phase, attending someone's wedding. That could be very specific for some of you. Listen, that's the way it can roll with this reading. I can get very specific messages for certain people, but some people could be talking about your wedding. Somebody could have a lot to say about your wedding that's not saying it to your face. Like maybe it's too grand, maybe it's too broke. Like, I don't know what it would be. This is a reading for thousands, but there could be a lot about you and another person, okay? Even if the honeymoon is over, I don't care. This is general. I really do feel like I've been picking that up a lot about your relationship with someone else. It's a hot topic. It's a very hot topic. Let's get more. Spy. Someone's got their eye on you. You are doing your research. So people are not just talking, they're watching, they're nosy, like they're investigative. Like you are... I just need to take a breather on this. People are watching. People are sussing out. Like, you know, I think even if you wanted to run away from this, even if you're not even on social media, I feel like people are still checked to see if they can find you. Like, we've got an adamant energy in these people to find out what's going on with you. Spying, even energetically, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if these people come up in your dreams. I know there's one person on this card, but I feel like it's a lot of people. Listen, for one of you that could resonate that there's one person in particular that's doing this and you can kind of have a feeling about it. But I think it's the energy of the spy. I think people are just very, very interested in your life. And your life could be interesting. There could always be something happening. You know, I mean, like, look at this. I mean, if this resonates with you, you know, listen, you could be one of those, you know, they just shot through in my mind Sagittarius. I'm not saying you're a Sagittarius, but like I got an emphasis on Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, fire signs. But listen, you don't have to be. So don't click off if that doesn't resonate with you. But they made me feel like they were trying to show me people who tend to kind of have these types of life where there's like always something bustling. And I know the fire signs can be like that. So it's interesting, but you don't have to be, okay? They're just trying to give me the energy. And I think with your life, there's just always something going on. And it's very interesting for people, especially people with no life. Give me more. They'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. Okay, that's a very specific message. But I also don't feel like I'm talking to anybody who's surprised. You could feel like there's a lot of people hunting you, who are messaging you from the past constantly, wanting to kind of like, I don't know, check in. But you know you don't have good vibes from them. You don't get good vibes from them. Think of the first person that came to your mind when I read that card. They'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. That's the person, okay? That could be a side message, you know, again, while we have your attention right now. But I do feel like they're a part of all of this. They're all a part of this. They are a part of this somehow, this topic. And maybe they've been talking to everyone but you about you. Maybe now they're ready to talk to you about you. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, give me more. Give me more for group 4. What does group 4 need to be aware of? What are people saying about them, but not to their face? New love, new person, unknown person. Okay, that kind of is annoying a bit because I feel like I am really looking at the unknown person. I think here there could be an unknown. Like, what's the word? A wild card? A wild card. Someone likes you with this card. Someone likes you. It's a new person. It's a wild card. It would be a little shocking to you. They're talking about you. They like you. They like you. They really do. You've got a crush or something. But this is someone new. Maybe even you've met them recently. It may not be a crush. It may be even somebody you've dived deep a little bit with, okay? Ooh, this person is like, got a little bit of like a thing for you. That person's talking. But listen, just to be fair, if you've been talking about your new love with people, an audience, I don't know, they're talking about this new love. You know, your experience with it. And don't think everybody's happy for you. They could be talking about you. Like, again, I'm going to reiterate, like you're a fool, okay? Don't come for me. It's just the cards. Give me more. What are people saying about group 4 that they're not saying to their face? Oh, geez. Okay, we've got a twin flame here. Karmic. Okay, let's not, you know, ignore the subheaders. We got karmic, effortless, and spiritual alignment. I wouldn't be surprised, and we all do this when we meet a twin flame. We start talking because it does feel good to some degree, right? To get it off your chest. It's so insane, the connection, right? People could be talking about your twin flame connection. That's for some of you, okay? They could definitely be talking about that. And I have been mocked for mine, just an FYI. So it's very real. But guess what? Your twin flame could be the one talking about you. Yep, your twin flame could be talking about you. That's going to be 2 messages from that card. You go with whatever feels right to you. Wow, group 4. Wow, okay. What's being said about group 4 that's not being said to their face? You are perfectly beautiful. This is a bit sad to me because I feel like we've got a bunch of women of all different shapes and colors and sizes. And I feel like here there could be some sort of really unnecessary comments being made about your look, your size. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this, but I just feel like the card is like, you're perfectly beautiful. And the insane thing about this is that you could actually feel really good about this. Like you don't care, like you love you, but people that maybe have other thoughts about it. Like you should be doing this. How could she think she's that great? She needs to lose weight or maybe even put on weight. It's just, it's like that. It's like that. It's just, it's gross. It's gross to attack somebody's physical features or even what they like on themselves. And guys, like, listen, this card is very, very descriptive. It could even be like the color of your hair. Maybe you've been rocking some blue hair, but it's like, it's petty to me. I feel like we're being attacked for our physical looks or being discussed. There's gossip about it. I'm sorry, pile 4. I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry for all of this, even though I'm not the one doing it. I apologize for these people. Give me more. Create your own happiness. Yeah, people definitely have a problem with that. So I think here, you're really good. You're really good no matter how chaotic your life is or whatever it looks like, you know, it's falling apart. You're good with it. I think a lot of people talk about that you're maybe in denial. You're in denial. I think people want to approach, but I don't think they will. I think they could be a little fearful of this, but they would love to sit you down and probably talk about like, you know, like, hey, are you noticing that this is not normal? Or you're a little bit in denial about this and that, or, you know, are you okay? Like stuff like that, because this is what this gives me the vibe of. Like, she's good. She's creating her own happiness. You know, nobody's doing it for her. And people could have a real problem with that, because maybe based upon what you're going through or, you know, whatever, you shouldn't feel like that. Maybe you need a wake-up call. That's what I feel like they're talking about. You need a wake-up call. So we've got the Rebel deck here. Don't worry. Give me time to, you know, dissect it. I know it can be a triggering deck, but it's so appropriate, okay? So that's why I've pulled it out. What is being said about group 4 that is not being said to their face? You need a good effing cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that SHIT go. Your soul will thank you. Some of you could be talked about in regards to how much you do cry. Okay? Maybe they're, and it doesn't feel like, oh, I need to be there for them. I think this could be that, you know, you need help. They talk about you like you need help. Like, this is just too much crying. You're crying all the time. But then there could be other people who actually sympathize. You know, they're talking about you in a bit of a lighter way. Like, you know, I feel bad. I feel bad for the person. But there is something around crying. So I can just make, you know, that might make sense to one person, a few people. But it's either coming through in the way that they think you need help because maybe you're crying too much, or they sympathize. But they're discussing this. This is something on their list about you, is how much. Remember I said to you about that in the beginning? It's like your miseries, what's not going right in your life, something along those lines. Give me more. Laugh. Where the F is your sense of humor? Kind of interesting, right? We've got two opposite, you know, emotions coming through within this deck, and I'm only pulling 2. So there could be some sort of sarcastic way about you. Maybe you're crying and then you're laughing. You're lying. You're lying. You're crying. You're laughing. You're crying. You're laughing. Then you're laughing again. Like, this could point to, again, maybe people think like, are you okay? Like, you're laughing and then you're crying. Then you're crying and you're laughing. And sometimes maybe people might talk about how maybe you're not that serious about your life. Maybe you don't come across. Maybe they're talking about the fact that they don't think you're very serious. But some people could think you're very sarcastic, very downright sarcastic. And maybe this is your motto, like, where the F is your sense of humor? Just laugh. People don't think it's funny, though. Maybe some people talk about that, okay? Others may actually feel like they talk about they want to do something nice for you, okay? To make you laugh, to make you feel better. That kind of goes hand in hand with that sympathy that I picked up in the other one. And the sympathy is nice. It's not feeling sorry for, really. It's just, you know, empathy, okay? But a lot of you could have a sarcastic way about you, and people just don't know how to take it. And I've noticed that people are not really, I'm very sarcastic, but I have dark humor. Honestly, I do, but people don't get it half the time. And listen, you know, they say that actually what you laugh at shows your intelligence. So your intelligence could be very high, actually, because I think there could be something about, you know, your humor. Anyways, I know this was a bit deep, but hey, it is what it is. Let me know if it resonated with you. And if you'd like, go check out that reading. We did pick up that, there is a person here in this cards, in this reading. I'm specifically channeling what that person says about you. So go check it out if you feel guided to. I wish you all the best, group 4. Take care.